Make sure you follow the station as well at 929 The Game. Got a great show lined up for you. We'll talk about what's on tap here in a minute. First and foremost, shout out to producer Garrett back there in the station. Make sure you tune in to the Dopey Millennials. Gary, y'all have a show next week, right? No one tomorrow. Oh, look at that. Tomorrow. Treat. Surprise treat for me because I'll get to listen tomorrow. I thought I had to wait a week, but I don't. I get to listen into it tomorrow. So make sure you're listening to the Dopey Millennials. They'll be on tomorrow. Abe TL coming up next. Second edition of Abe TL. So make sure you tune into that. I'll be with you guys 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And like I said, we got a massive show lined up. We'll talk a little Atlanta Braves because they were in a weather delay for a minute. I mean, my goodness. I think the game started around like 2 or 3 or something. It was an afternoon game. And if you look at the clock, it's 8:02, about to be 8:03. They're in the bottom, or going to go into the bottom of the 8th once they finally get started back up. The tarp is off the field, so they've been waiting for a minute. But the Braves just had bad luck with weather these past few weeks or whatever. So they'll get going. We'll update you on that right now. The score is 6-3, like I said, as they head into the bottom of the 8th inning and close out this 3-game series with the Washington Nationals and head into the All-Star break. Speaking of All-Stars, the Braves now tied with the New York Yankees for the most All-Stars this year as our boy Austin Riley got his respect. They finally put some respect on his name, not in the fashion or the order that they should have, because he should have been an All-Star from the rip off jump. But since I forget who is out, Nolan Arenado. Nolan Arenado is out with a back injury, but so he will not be able to participate in the All-Star game and the All-Star game festivities. So Austin Riley rightfully takes his place. Again, should have been there in the first place, but I digress because he's in there regardless. So congratulations to Austin Riley. We'll talk a little bit more about that in Around the A in the next hour. We're also going to talk about potential lineups for the Atlanta Hawks. We kind of know what this roster is going to look like. I don't think any more moves are coming for the Atlanta Hawks. Any big moves, we might, sign a veteran or something here or there to the mid-level exception. But other than that, I don't anticipate any other big moves coming for the Atlanta Hawks. So we're going to go through potential lineups. I've got 6 different lineup possibilities for you guys. I have like 4 units, a defensive-oriented lineup, an offensive-oriented lineup. So we'll go through that here in about 16 minutes. Also, we're going to, like I said, go around the A. There's some news we got to talk about. Darren Eales is obviously leaving to go to Newcastle, is leaving Atlanta United, CEO and president of Atlanta United, now going to do that with Newcastle. So upgrade for him, going to reunite with Miguel Almiron. So we'll do that at 8:40, 9 o'clock. We'll go around the association, give you the latest NBA news, rumors, all that good stuff. 9:20, as we always do, the state of the Atlanta Hawks. As you know, mainly here on the Hometown Take, I focus on NBA and the Atlanta Hawks. And 9:40, you can go ahead and start sending in the questions now. Grilling Dylan. Anything you want to ask me can be about the Hawks, the Braves, Atlanta United, the Falcons, or about life. Does not matter. You can send me your Grilling Dylan questions. We'll open up the phone lines then as well. Or you can tweet me at _Dylan Mathews. But to start things off here on a Saturday evening, I think we all need to realize something. And I think we all need to understand something. John Collins is not going anywhere. John Collins is here for the foreseeable future. And unless something happens where a star type power forward or, fringe all-star to all-star type power forward becomes available, I don't think John Collins is going anywhere for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, the narrative, I think, has been all wrong on this whole John Collins situation. And Landry Fields finally cleared it up about a week ago when he did an interview on NBA.com. I'll give you those quotes here in just a second. Also, we know in the past that Trae Young, John Collins haven't had the greatest relationship. Can't necessarily say they're two peas in the pod. But I think something might also change there as well. But first, let me let you not hear from Landry Fields, but give you a quote from Landry Fields when talking about John Collins, his future with the Atlanta Hawks. So, like I said, I think there's been some misconception that Landry Fields has finally cleared up. So, the question was, how do you look at John Collins philosophically while weighing his long-term fit and value versus what that can bring in a trade? Landry Fields said, quote, "I always get asked that question one way or the other. John is a valuable player. If you're building a roster with any team and you're looking at how you can get better, teams often think this way. Well, the Hawks have a really good player that makes a certain amount of dollars that works for what we're trying to do. So there are a bunch of concepts they're going to throw our way and say, what do you think of John?" The truth of the matter is that John Collins is still on the Hawks. This is where it gets important. This is the heart and soul of this quote. We still have value in him too. This isn't one of those, we have to get off John. That's absurd. There's a misinterpretation of that. You always think of a player from that standpoint because he is constantly in talks. You try to make sure with him that we can check in and make sure he's doing all right. It's something where it's less about wondering if he's a long-term fit, and it's more about the fact of that he gets called on a lot. The moment those calls come up, people talk. Then all of a sudden, here we are in the media with this thought that John Collins is not wanted by the Atlanta Hawks. So to boil all that down for you, Landry Fields basically is saying, we don't want to get rid of John Collins, and we don't need to get rid of John Collins. Teams ask about him because, they're doing their due diligence. If they think John Collins is available, teams are going to call because obviously a lot of teams value him, including the Atlanta Hawks. But the only way the Atlanta Hawks are going to make a move trading John Collins elsewhere is if they're getting what they need back, if they're getting the right value for him back. And obviously they haven't gotten that. So they're not pressed to trade John Collins. Now it has seemed like that because, again, once one call is made, then all of it starts to leak out. Then narratives get written. Oh, the Hawks are shopping John Collins left and right. They're ready to move on for him. They got to move on for him by draft night. Well, draft night came and went, and we got crickets. I can't make a cricket noise otherwise I would. But you get the point. The Hawks aren't pressed to trade John Collins. If a great offer comes along, I think they'll pull the trigger. If it's right for the team, they'll pull the trigger. But that hasn't been the case yet. So I think we need to understand that John Collins is here for the foreseeable future. When it comes to trade deadline, will we hear his name in rumors? Probably, because we always do. But I think we just all need to understand as Atlanta Hawks fans that John Collins probably isn't getting moved. And John Collins is probably on this team. I'm going to make a bold prediction right here, right now at 8:10 p.m. on a Saturday. Is it June or July? We're in July. July 16th or 17th or whatever day it is. You see it. They all go together. I think John Collins is on the Atlanta Hawks at least this entire year. I don't think he's going anywhere. Now, again, things change, rearrange, all that good stuff. So I don't want to go any further than that. But my gut is telling me now, I think John Collins is here for the long haul. That's just my thought. And as far as his chemistry with Trae Young, I think they figured things out. I think they both have matured a little bit. I think they both are realizing they want to win. They both have established themselves. I think they're going to figure it out and at least make things right on the court. Now, I don't think they're going to be best friends. I don't think they're going to be buddy-buddy. I don't think they're going to see the new Thor movie together. But I think they're at least going to work things out and figure it out on the court. So there you go. That's my 2 cents on the John Collins. You got any thoughts on that? You can tweet at me at 929thegame and at _Dylan Mathews. When we come back, we're going to talk about some potential lineups. Tyrese Martin also signed his deal with the Atlanta Hawks, 2-year deal. and he's going to be a part of those potential lineups as well. Before we get out of here, I want to tell you about a new podcast Kenny Mayne has. It's called Hey Mayne. He has joined the Odyssey family with his new podcast, and each week Kenny will talk to someone he knows just a little bit about, but is fascinated by a lot. Athletes, musicians, celebrity, and just about anyone else. He's got a new episode this Thursday featuring Christopher Guest. He's best known in Spinal Tap, Best in Show, A Mighty Win, all that good stuff. He's had Chris Berman on, Ben Schwartz. So download Hey Mayne on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. The starting five, I think, is pretty easy for the Atlanta Hawks this upcoming season. I don't think there's a doubt when it comes to the starting five. But what are the rotations going to look like? What's the second unit going to look like? If we want to go defense, what's that look like? If we want to go more offensive-oriented, what's that look like? The roster is finally coming together. I think it's pretty much finalized for the Atlanta Hawks. So we'll talk about some potential lineups, potential rotations. And I think this is pretty easy to wrap my head around, and I think it's pretty easy logistically too. Trae Young and DeJounte Murray, one of them have to be on the floor at all times. I'll tell you how that happens. I'll give you potential lineups and rotations next here on the Hometown Take. Dylan Mathews with you on a Saturday evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you got that Odyssey app, so if you're not riding in your car ride's almost over, you can keep listening to me in your house or wherever you're about to go, wherever your final destination is. Rocking with you here on a Saturday night. It is the Hometown Take on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game and the Odyssey app.
Well. King is back.
You got me there.
Well. An amazing segment. Don't even recognize you from last week.
No gas.
You did good.
Thank you.
Last week he came in a little bit dry for mine. Now, granted, yeah, the energy was a little bit off in the beginning. He got it going by 7-2, but it's 8 p.m. It's late at night. Yeah.
It's like that.
Last week he just came in a little bit
dry.
Yeah. But this week you came out swinging. Good job.
I had to.
What's up, y'all, in the chat?
What's poppin'?
So we're on a break right now. Alex Stewart, what's up, my
dude?
What up, though? So we're on a break right now. The break will be over at 8:20. The show will come back at 8:20. So y'all, appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Y'all can't hear the commercials or nothing, but we'll be back at 8:20 talking about lineups. But y'all go ahead and drop your questions down below in the comments. Your questions will get answered at the 9:40 hour. So this show is from 8 to 10 p.m. You can also listen live on 92.9 The Game. Also, make sure you tweet at us. # Grillin, GRILLIN, like the grill, George Foreman, you know what I'm saying? Grillin, Dylan, or you can drop your questions down below. Dante Spite, what's up? He said, let's go Atlanta Braves. Let's keep winning. And Dylan,
let's do it. Let's keep winning. Appreciate you, Dante.
So one question I do want you to answer is that one you got from your subscriber. That's a really good question.
Oh, yeah. I forgot what it was. I have to look it up.
I'll pull up. But appreciate y'all for rocking with us.
What y'all think about John Collins, too? Y'all think he here to stay or what? 242-742. My bad. I get a cold.
All right. I'm a, yeah.
Look at that. Why is it? Boom, 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 boom.
All right. So.
That's better. I can't hear you. What? Oh. What up, though? What's poppin'? Brand new whip just hopping.
See what I'm working with here, Dylan? See? Pretend so I don't have to be in here while you actually doing your show. Talk with your hand. Say something. Start your next thing.
What I'm telling you is there's no cap in my rap. Why is Trae Young trending? I don't know. I'm saying something. The flow is cold. Trae Young about to debut some new Trae Young shoes. That's crazy.
I need to move.
Nah, you good. Yeah. Oh, shoot. I do. It's on this paper.
I'm going to take a picture.
Okay. Colin's not going nowhere. He's here to stay. I agree, Dante. Yeah, I think John Collins here to stay. Wallace said, "What's good, y'all?" And I think JC is safe and here to stay. I agree. I don't think he's going.
This segment, I'm going to run downstairs and grab some water.
Oh, you know, they got water. They got
back?
Yeah, it's back. Yeah. I know. I found that out last night. I was like, "Yo, what?" Oh, will you do me a favor? Will you come, music-wise? Will you come back with the hot instrument?
The hot.
Well, the song's called Hot.
Hot?
It's by Young Thug and Gunna. Yeah. Thank you. Everything Liddy Yellow went in.
Who else is like here in general I need to talk to? Maybe not right now, but who I need to talk to this year?
So like, this might sound like a dumb question, but like when you say who you should talk to, like what are you trying to get accomplished in said discussions? Just like trying to network or like
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like I'm not trying to jump into an internship, but like if that happens, then awesome. But I'm just trying to network. People know who I am. Like,
Dude, I would talk to everybody. You talk to Gary, you talk to Dom.
what is Dom?
Dom just as far as like broadcast stuff, he just works here. But yeah, he works here. Oh, he's a producer. Yeah.
That's why he's in there. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But he's like the only that kind of. Besides the other rooms, he's kind of like the main rooms.
These two?
Yeah.
Yeah, for us, yeah. Besides like that production studio. And there's another production studio where Steve Wilson.
Appreciate
does,
you,
like,
DJ.
all our imaging, so like when you hear like sports radio, 92.9 the game. Like,
DJ said, DJ with the $5 super chat. Love y'all
appreciate
show.
you, DJ.
I'm from Marietta, supporting Atlanta teams. Appreciate you, DJ.
Splatty. What's up?
AJ said, I'm just more concerned with the depth now. We have lost a lot of shooting. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in the second segment. AJ.
I'll talk about that right now.
I'm talking right now.
Oh, okay.
So, AJ, we're actually going to talk about that in the second segment. So, the second segment, we're talking about the lineups. So, Dylan will definitely address that because that is actually a good question. Dante said, Dylan, don't lose faith in our Falcons because I see a good chance the Falcons can be the dark horse team and make the playoffs along with your friend team. Yeah, the Eagles. Gang. You already know the Eagles make it. That's not a question if the Eagles are making the playoffs, Dante.
She said that's a guarantee.
7-7.
You said what?
7-7 Eagles.
Oh.
Now, Dylan, don't lose your credibility before you even get on air.
Say what?
I don't know why. I just been like, I heard Hot last night, and I played it on the drive in here, and I just been feeling this song lately. It just, woof, it just gets you going. It's got me going. I had to hear it. Thank you, Garrett, for playing that for me, man. So, thank you. I don't know what will. I'm ready to go get some buckets now. I'm ready to go play 5-on-5. We're trying to run it after the show, a little late night basketball. Let me know. No, I'm just playing for real. Anyways, welcome back to the Hometown Take. Your host here, Dylan Mathews, riding with you until 10 p.m. Then we got AMTL rocking with you 10 p.m. to midnight. So make sure you tune into that as well. All right, we teased this at the last segment. The Hawks lineup pretty much set. Roster is going to get tweaked here and there maybe, but we know what we got. I don't think there are any more moves coming, no more big moves. I think what we have now is pretty much what we're throwing out on opening night. With that, let's give you some potential lineups for the Atlanta Hawks. I think the starting five is no question. There's no debate there. If you're debating the starting five, I don't know what to tell you. Starting five is obviously Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, Clint Capella. No doubt about that. Now, how the rotation is going to go. Like I said, you get a second star so you can have one of them on the court at all times. Trae Young and either DeJounte Murray, one of them needs to be on the court at all times. How do you make that happen? I think it's pretty simple. So, if you go back to last year, kind of look at Trae Young's minutes. Usually played the whole first quarter, right? So with that, if he continues to play the whole first quarter, which I believe he will do, no reason for me to think he won't. Nate McMillan's still the coach. He's going to have those same rotations. So Trae Young's going to play the whole first quarter. Just told you the starting five. They're going to start. Bogey, who we still have, will come off the bench in his six-man role. He's going to come in for DeJounte Murray. And, he's going to come in for DeJounte Murray. So it's going to be Trae. This is the second unit. This is the second unit here. So Trae Young, Bogdanovich, probably DeAndre Hunter. And now this is where it gets sticky because is behind DeAndre Hunter. Who's that? Is that Maurice Harkless coming in behind DeAndre Hunter so you can kind of keep that defensive presence there? Obviously, Maurice Harkless, a defensive-minded guy. We got him from Sacramento in the Kevin Huerter trade. Do you put him behind DeAndre Hunter? Who's coming in at the power forward spot as well? Do we see, dare I say, Jalen Johnson get some minutes? Is he ready after pretty much spending a whole year with the Skyhawks? Does he play some power forward? We brought in Frank Kaminsky. Now, you could argue more of a center, but with his shooting ability, his ability to spread the floor, does he come in at power forward? We know the backup center is Onyeka Okongwu. So it's Trae Young, it's Bogey, but who's the 3 and the 4? We know Okongwu's going to be at the 5, but who's at the 3 and the 4? Is it Maurice Harkless? Justin Holiday. We look at him more of a shooting guard, but I guess if you needed to and wanted to, at 6'6", you could play him at small forward. Is it the rookie? Is it A.J. Griffin? Now, I'm not feeling too confident about him because he hasn't even played in Summer League yet due to foot discomfort. If I had to guess, second unit would be Trae Young, Bogey, Maurice Harkless, probably Frank Kaminsky, and Onyeka Okongwu. It gives you enough defense with DeJounte, Harkless, and Onyeka Okongwu, and offense obviously still with not DeJounte. I said DeJounte meant Trae. Still give you enough defense with Harkless and Onyeka Okongwu, and obviously have offense with Trae Young, Bogey Bogdanovich, and Frank Kaminsky if he's there at the 4. So to me, that's your second unit. So if you're going through a game, I would say DeJounte comes out about mid-second quarter, whenever the rotation is going to be. Bogey comes in, then you rock with Trae, Bogey, Maurice Harkless, probably Frank Kaminsky, and Onyeka Okongwu for a little bit. Now, say the Hawks want to go with a more defensive-oriented lineup. I think it will look a little something like this. DeJounte at the 1. You bring in Justin Holiday at the 2, who's a pretty good defender. Obviously, you can keep DeAndre Hunter at the 3. Maurice Harkless at the 4, big enough to play the 4 too. He's played the 4 some in his career. And then obviously you can roll with Capella or Okongwu at the 5. On the flip side of that, if you want to go with a more offensive-minded lineup, basically what the starting lineup would be minus Clint Capella. Trae at the 1, DeJounte at the 2. If Bogey's hot, maybe Bogey. DeAndre Hunter, John Collins. But instead of Clint, you go with Frank Kaminsky because he can spread the floor. He can shoot the 3 a little bit. He's a little bit better than Gorgie Day. So obviously you're not looking to Frank Kaminsky for too many buckets, but he can spread the floor. He has that option for you. He helps you at least with the spacing of everything. Now, as far as the 3rd and 4th unit goes, we obviously don't want to see this line up too much, but Third unit, you would see the Holiday brothers, in my opinion. Aaron Holiday, Justin Holiday. If AJ Griffin ever gets right or even sees playing time, which at this point I'm suspect about because he hasn't even played in Summer League. You really don't even know what you have in AJ Griffin right now. But if he gets his stuff together, if he gets healthy, maybe AJ Griffin at the 3. If not, you might keep Maurice Harkless in that spot. Jalen Johnson, Frank Kaminsky. That's the third unit. And your fourth unit, your blowout unit, either way it goes, you've got some probably a lot of players who are going to be playing in College Park otherwise with Sharif Cooper, Justin Holiday, AJ Griffin and or Tyrese Martin, Jalen Johnson, and Frank Kaminsky. So I think those are your lineups, those are your rotations. And like I was saying earlier, you have Trae Young or DeJounte Murray on the floor at all times. And it's not hard to make that happen. Again, Trae Young usually plays the whole first quarter. So you take DeJounte out midway through the second, somewhere through there, two-thirds of the way through the second, however much time. Then once the first quarter is over, you stick DeJounte in because Trae usually takes his break most of the second quarter, a good portion of the second quarter. That's when DeJounte, the offense is rolling through him. You got DeJounte, probably have Bogey out there too. You can rock with that offensively. Okongwu probably in the post. And you got more defensive help with Maurice Harkless as well. Third quarter starts, when you keep going through the second quarter, Trae Young probably comes back in to finish the half, and Trae and DeJounte finish the first half together. Then the first half, or the second half, I should say, is the same as the first half. Trae and DeJounte start together. Trae probably plays most of the third, if not all the third. DeJounte comes out about midway through the third. The fourth quarter comes along. DeJounte starts off the fourth by himself, and then Trae and DeJounte finish out the game together, whatever point Trae Young needs to come back in the game. It's simple. So there should be no reason, if me, Dylan Mathews, who has no coaching experience, has never coached any team at any level, if I can figure out how you rotate Trae and DeJounte to make sure one of them is on the court at all times, I think that should be pretty easy for Nate McMillan to figure out. So there should be no excuse why one of them isn't on the court at all times. That's, again, the reason why you get a second start. That's one of the reasons, to have one of them on the court at all times. So those are your lineups there again. Again, I don't think there's any real debate in the starting five. Trae, DeJounte, DeAndre, John Collins, Clint Capella. In the second unit, that's where it gets sticky because who's going to be your backup small forward and power forward? Who are your backup forwards? Are they Maurice Harkless? Who's the backup power forward? Is it Jalen Johnson? Is he finally ready? Does Frank Kaminsky move to the 4 and you have a bigger front court with maybe Harkless, Kaminsky, and Okongwu? Those are really the questions that'll be interesting to see how Nate does the rotations there. But I think those are your potential lineups, and I think that's how you mix and match Trae and DeJounte. Quick update on the Braves for you as well. They're back underway after a long weather delay. 6-3, the Braves lead, top of the ninth. They have a runner on second right now with Matt Olson up to bat. So Braves trying to secure the sweep and get some nice momentum going into the All-Star break. Need to check the Mets score. I'll give you an update on that here in a little bit, probably in the next segment. But last time I saw, the Mets are playing a doubleheader with the Chicago Cubs today because they got postponed last night. So the Cubs and the Mets playing a doubleheader. And last time I saw that, it was 1-1. So it was tied. So I'm not sure. Who's that just stole the base? Was that Michael Harris? Money Mike out here swiping bags. But we'll keep you updated on the Braves. They should be over here soon. I want to also go ahead and put one thing out there as well while we're talking about the Braves. And we'll talk more about this in the next segment. But I think we can all pretty much put to bed. And I saw Abe actually put a tweet about this when he was tweeting out the show and talking about what he had coming up tonight. There is no reason, there is no trade package that the Braves should or would or could put together for one. I guess they could put together a package for Juan Soto, but That would be a no on my opinion. I'm not giving up Acuna for Soto. I'm good on all that. To me, there's just no room in the outfield. What room do we have out there? Michael Harris is your center fielder of the future. Ronald Acuna Jr. is cemented in right field. So, I mean, I guess you fit him in left field, but who do you give up? Because they already said they want, what, a Herschel Walker type package? You don't have the pieces to give up. You have to decimate and gut your whole team just to get one dude. And we don't need him. Last time I checked, we won the World Series without Juan Soto. So I'm good, love. Enjoy. Juan, wherever you want to go, if the Nationals finally give you enough money for you to re-sign there, all day. But we shouldn't even want Juan Soto. We did it without him. And I'm all for getting better, but you don't get better by trading for Juan Soto because you're gutting your entire team. So I just thought that needed to be said. But tweet me your lineups. How do you think the rotations go for the Atlanta Hawks? What's your second unit? You have a defensive unit in mind, an offensive unit? Let me know at _Dylan Mathews on Twitter. You can tweet at 929thegame your thoughts as well. When we come back, we're going to go around the A. We got some news to talk about. Darren Eales. That dude, man, he ain't going to be taking shots no more with us. He is headed to Newcastle. Great opportunity for him, though, but he is leaving Atlanta United. The MLB draft is tomorrow. Believe it or not, we're in the midst of another, trying to defend our title, our World Series championship. But the MLB draft is tomorrow, and I think it's pretty important for the Atlanta Braves, and I'll explain why. And again, Austin Riley, finally an All-Star. Should have been one off rip, but at least he got it now. It's the Hometown Take. We're going around the A when we come back. It's Dylan Mathews hanging with you on a Saturday night here on the Hometown Take on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game and the Odyssey app.
What up, dude?
What's up, my guy?
Sounding good, brother.
Appreciate you, bro.
How you doing, man?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Good, man.
Billy, dog. This is also Dylan, by the way.
Uh-oh. Double Dillons?
Double Dylan.
Double Dillons?
Yeah.
What's up, man? Hey, how you doing, man? Good to meet you. Yeah, man, just chilling. I can't figure out my timing on, showing up for these shows, so I can't get here with you.
Hey, man.
I finished my rundown at home. I got to walk the dog, and now I just, guess I'll just come in. I don't know.
Might as well. I mean, hey, you're here, vibing, it's all good.
Yeah.
What's the next segment?
Huh?
What's the next segment?
Well, you didn't listen to the tease?
I forgot.
Nah, we're going to go around the A. Just some local news. Yeah, that's my
That's all
run.
you write down? Oh, that's front back.
Yeah, that's run back.
I got you know me with my prep. I got a full-on fit going.
Nah, I was doing that for the first show when there was a lot of Hawks and stuff going on.
Where'd
But
you do your read from?
what read? Oh, yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
I print those out. Freaky cute. I just print the ones I give to him.
Right.
Gotta do it.
Did you run today?
I did. I was lazy. I was stupid. I should have ran when I woke up when it was 71 degrees. I was going to run with the dog. And the dog woke me up, and I'm like, I don't feel like running right now. And so then I ended up running at 1:30 when it was 88 degrees. So that's so stupid.
Man.
I just did 3.
Just did 3.
Yeah, I don't know when I'm going to do long runs again.
3 is a long one.
No, but
mile is a long one.
I was training for Peachtree for a while. And I didn't.
When is Peachtree?
It was last Friday. Sure.
Oh, that's true. I didn't know if that was a new one from last year.
Yeah, it's July 4th. We did that. I haven't decided if I'm going to run for train for this 10-miler or not. Bunky wants to. And I'm I don't know if I want to do train up for that.
Fall off.
No, you build up to it too. I just don't care. Also, my sister and Bunk and I ran a 11.5-mile trail race in February.
I remember that.
But distance training in the winter is a breeze.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to be building up to 10 miles when it's still 84 degrees. Dude, I want no part of that, man. I want no part of it. Training for the Peachtree, there were a couple days where I'm like it's just so different. Like you get tired, you start sweating. Like for most of my training runs for the trail race, it was cold, right? It was winter, so I do 11-mile runs with no water, and but you can do it then. You're sweating a little bit, but only based on how much you're working.
Right, exactly.
Out there now, like sometimes I'm like, where's the fountain?
Yeah.
And like on my 5-mile runs, I'll do 5 without water. I really won't do more than 5 right now without water. It's too hot.
Yeah.
That's only if I'm like actually hydrated, which is like questionable to begin with. Like half the week I'm dehydrated anyway.
You excited, man? You were sounding good for your first one. I was listening.
Yeah, tonight's great. I'm gonna talk about what you're talking about, the Darren Eales thing.
Yeah.
Like I got that coming up. But like more from just like there's no front office person in the country like Darren. Like he's so much like
he's so personable.
He's more a person of the people than like anyone. Like and Travis Schlenk's cool as hell.
Yeah.
Like we love Travis Schlenk on the morning show, but it's not the same.
It's not the same thing at all.
Like, yeah. So we're gonna get into Darren Eales. We're gonna get into the Soto thing. Riley. I got some good numbers on why you shouldn't panic about Acuna being in the All-Star Run Derby.
Oh yeah, I saw you had put down a tweet. That was a good
deal about that.
I think the whole mantra about your home run, you're gonna mess up your home run swing or whatever. I feel like it's been disproved.
So it's interesting. Don't steal this.
I'm not.
Next hour.
You don't even have to give me the numbers. You don't have to give.
Here's what's interesting. The numbers say that if you're in the All-Star game, if you've been voted as an All-Star and play in the home run derby, your numbers don't really suffer. But if you're in the home run derby without being an All-Star, there's like significant drops. Because what happens is you got guys who aren't really capable of keeping up that pace anymore.
Right.
It's all misleading anyway.
Yeah.
Like you got guys who aren't capable of keeping up those paces, hit a bunch in a row, and then they find themselves in the home run derby.
Right.
They're not all-stars because they don't have the consistency of the all-stars.
Exactly.
And so, like, I'm going to get into that. And I got 2 names this yeyear who I expect to drop off.
Talking about Braves wise?
No. Home run derby contestants. I think we'll drop off in the second half.
Okay. I got you.
So I'll do some of that.
That'll be good.
I got the Soto thing. I got the Dean Pease and Eales thing. You saw the Dean Pease comments about. He said he only ran 60% of the defense last year.
I did see that.
So I'm gonna mess around with that.
Yeah, I did see that.
And then I got my buddy out in Portland. He's the voice of the trailblazer. We're gonna talk NBA.
Oh, that'll be dope.
Yeah.
Sports Radio 92.9 The Game, the hometown take here live in the Kia Studios. Dylan Mathews with you, rocking with you on a Saturday evening. Take you up until 10 p.m., but make sure you don't turn that dial because the live and local party is going to keep on rocking because we got ATL coming up 10 to midnight, so make sure you stay tuned into that. He's got some great stuff coming up. We were just talking in the break. You don't want to miss what he's got. Trust me. He's got some great stuff lined up. So make sure you tune in to ATL 10 p.m. to midnight. Also, before we get into what's going on around the A, I do want to tell you that we are we're definitely less than 2 weeks away. The All-Star game is Tuesday, so we're less than a few days away. So make sure you check out Odyssey's Big Time Baseball podcast with Cody Decker, Tony Gwynn Jr., and MLB insider John Heyman. They cover all things MLB. So if you're looking for an inside scoop on what's happening in baseball from the field to the clubhouse and front office, this is your podcast. New episodes of Big Time Baseball every Monday on Odyssey or wherever you get your podcast. Make sure you also get your Grillin' Dylan questions in at _Dylan Mathews. You can also call in as well when it comes that time. Hour from now, you can ask me anything. It could be about the Falcons. It could be about the Hawks. It could be about Atlanta United, the Braves, who are on their way to a win. Actually just won out a win now. Rosario just caught a ball in left. So Kenley Jansen trying to close things out here. Still 6-3. But the point being, it could be about anything. It could be about life. Whatever you want to talk about, we'll do it in Grillin' Dylan. That's at 9:40. But right now, I want to go around the A. Just updated you on the Braves. They're up 6-3. So that's one thing that's happening in the A. Looking for a sweep and a nice little 3-game win streak against the Washington Nationals as they go into the All-Star break. Speaking of All-Stars, Austin Riley finally got some respect put on his name. He's an all-star. Nolan Arenado, back injury. He's not going to be a part of the all-star game, so Austin Riley takes his place. He should have been an all-star from the jump. He was robbed. We know. Just like Dansby should have been a starter. But I get it. Fans vote. We all get to vote. I'm a fan. I vote. So, I guess. But I'm just happy that Austin Riley's going to be able to call himself an all-star this year because he deserves it. Hit another home run tonight, I believe, or this afternoon. It's hard to not say tonight because they're still playing. And as soon as I say that, the game's now over. So Braves win 6-3. There's some Around the A news for you right there. Austin Riley is a all-star, first time ever, much deserved. But what also is going on in the world of baseball, the MLB draft is tomorrow. Atlanta's got the 20th and 35th overall pick. I think this is a fairly important draft for the Braves. It may not seem like it because obviously we're the defending World Series champion. We have young pieces in place. Obviously Max Fried, Kyle Wright, Ronald Acuna Jr., Michael Harris, Austin Riley, Dansby Swanson. We've got a young, great core, young nucleus. But one thing we do have to think about, and I don't think it's getting talked about quite enough, and it's not necessarily, because it's not worrisome right now, but it is something to think about. We've depleted our farm system just a little bit. Think about it. To get Matt Olson, we gave up Shea Langoliers. We gave up Christian Pache. And that was okay because we've got, again, another young piece in William Contreras who will be the catcher of the future. We know Michael Harris. Money Mike. We know he's that dude. He's him. That was okay. We also gave up 2 other pitching prospects as well. But then this trade we just did with the Kansas City Royals to get the 35th overall pick, traded away Drew Waters, who was at one time our top prospect in the farm system. So we've depleted our farm system a little bit. We also gave up some more pitching prospects. So, not to say that we're running dry in the farm. I'm not saying that at all, but still, you want to get some guys here with the 20th and 35th overall pick, help kind of build that farm system back up a little bit so we can keep winning championships. We can keep bringing young guys up in spots we need. We can keep seeing guys like Michael Harris, Ronald Acuna Jr., William Contreras, and all that flourish. I was producing Chris Goforth this weekend. We had on Keith Law. He's a baseball writer and scout for The Athletic. He gave us a little insight of who the Braves might be looking at. Jordan Beck, Drew Gilbert, teammates from Tennessee, 2 outfielders, and then maybe a high school pitcher, best available high school pitcher with the 35th overall pick. So keep an eye on those guys as we head into the MLB draft tomorrow. I'm loathing getting into this next one because this is tough. And really, you hate the timing of this. You love it for Darren Eames, but you hate the timing of it just because of what Atlanta United has been through and is going through with the injuries, the not-so-great record. So you just hate to hear the fact that the dude who was responsible for building up Atlanta United, for building us up to an MLS Cup in 2017, the dude who is so personable. You hear him all the time on Dukes and Bell. You see him taking shots with the supporters and the fans. So you really just hate the timing of it when you think about the kind of the state that Atlanta United is in. But again, on the other side, while we want to be selfish and keep Darren Eales here, you also got to be happy for him. Taking a great job, the best job that was out there in Newcastle. Going to reunite with Miguel Almiron. And, he's making his way up in career. He's making a big career move. This is huge for Darren Eales. It's great for Darren Eales. But again, just the timing, it stings a little bit. So Mike Conti, again, hopped on with Chris Goforth last night. Said there's going to be a worldwide search to replace Darren Eales. It'll be interesting to see if they stay in MLS, if they try and go out internationally again. And, you can't there's no other Darren Ealeses out there, but you're trying to find maybe the next best thing. So it'll just be interesting to see how long it takes, what route they go. Do they stay with someone who knows the ins and outs of MLS, or do they go with, try to find another personable, I don't know if the next CEO and president is going to take shots with the supporters, but do you try to find a guy like that? Do you try to find another personable face like that? It's going to be hard to do, but Atlanta United will get the job done. They have to. So there you go. Darren Eales leaving Atlanta United to go to Newcastle. That's news around the A. Also, teased this before, but we'll break it down a little bit more now. Juan Soto. The saga continues. He's already, I think, declined like 2 offers from the Nationals. The latest offer from the Washington Nationals, 15 years. 15, goodness. I'm trying to lock him down for a minute. $440 million. Juan Soto said, nah, I'm good. I don't really feel like it. So he remains unsigned with the Washington Nationals. Well, not unsigned, but he has yet to sign an extension. And now reports have come out that the Nationals are now open to trading him. Feel like, he's declined all these offers. Maybe he just don't want to be here past his contract. And I understand them for feeling that way. And before, I get it. There were a whole bunch of, Juan Soto to the Braves propaganda. But that was before Michael Harris. That was before we really secured our outfield with Money Mike and Ronald Acuna Jr. This is before we found out how good William Contreras was. So I just don't, there's not really room for him in the outfield. Again, I know he could play left field. But even with that, what are you going to give up to get Juan Soto? You're not going to be able to keep the core of this team. Somebody between Austin Riley, Dansby Swanson, Michael Harris, they're going to want 1, 2, maybe 3 dudes like that. So what are you going to give up to get Juan Soto? I don't think it's possible. It's not realistic. We have a championship team now. We won the World Series last year. So why would we even think about trying to get Juan Soto? We don't need him at all. You would have to gut the entire team to even think about getting him. And then what do you do once you got him? And all your good pieces, your core pieces are gone. What do you do then? So I just don't see why you would even do it. I don't understand why it's even floating out there that the Braves should go after Juan Soto. So yeah, that's just a little thing to me as well. So again, you can tell me what you think. If you want, you can call in 447-441-0929. But again, you're not moving me off this. There's no reason Juan Soto needs to be in Atlanta Brave. Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. Hometown Take here with Dylan Mathews. Again, make sure you tweet me your Grilling Dylan questions. We'll do that here in about 50 minutes, 9:40. Coming up, we'll go around the association, the state of the Hawks that we always do. Also, what is the deal with DeAndre Ayton too? We're going to get this more into around the association, but do Hawks fans still even want him? Are they confident in what DeAndre Ayton could do? We'll talk about that more here and around the association. We'll also get into the KD rumors. Is KD even going to be traded? I don't think he's going to be traded at this point. I think it's long over. I think he's pretty much going to stay in Brooklyn. They tried it. They're not going to get back what he wants or what the Brooklyn Nets want. They're not going to get a package that suits what KD is worth. And a little good news for a former Hawk. So that's all coming up here and around the association. Before we go to break, I do want to also tell you about another one of our great Odyssey podcasts. You can dive into the history and culture of baseball's unofficial rulebook with Unwritten, a new podcast by former players Ron Darling and Jimmy Rollins. Unwritten looks at all the secret and not-so-secret guidelines that big leaguers follow while playing the game. Ron and Jimmy give you the player's perspective on bat flips, beanballs, brawls, and more. This week's episode is about blowouts. Came out this past Wednesday, so go ahead and tune in. They talk about how you shouldn't run up the score, don't steal a swing on 3-0 when your team is up big late, and what's the cutoff, and why did this rule actually start in the first place. So go check out the new podcast with Ron Darling and Jimmy Rollins with Unwritten. We will go ahead and go to a quick break. Actually, I think we got a call. Oh, my bad, y'all. What's up? That segment was not very good, but I ran out of things to talk about. I'm glad you didn't notice, but I definitely ran out of stuff to talk about. I just was improvising. What's up, y'all? My bad.
I can see that, but I mean, it ain't nothing to talk about. So. Yeah. At least next week you'll have training camp.
Yeah.
About to start.
You have training camp next week?
No, not next week.
When is it? It's about to start though.
Isn't the week after? Yeah.
But you'll have like storylines and stuff.
Yeah.
Little stuff coming off SEC Media Days next week.
Oh, yeah.
But you could do like training camp battles.
Have you met A, by the way?
No.
Oh,
That's my girlfriend, Symone.
What is it?
Symone.
Symone. Hey, how you
Nice
doing?
to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I feel like I might have met.
I can't remember. But he owes morning show down.
Oh, that's probably why, because you're on the morning.
Yeah. Yo, down the morning show.
So is you got State of the A and Around the Association, are those two separate segments or are they one segment?
Oh, they're two separate segments.
So you doing one at top and one at 20?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Well, I already did. What I just did was Around the A.
Oh,
State of the. You talking about State of the Hawks? State of the Hawks. Yeah. That's at 20.
But you had one that's Around the Association.
Yeah, that's next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you had State of the Hawks.
Yeah.
So you are doing like heavy hoops.
Yeah, I'm doing like
even when there's.
I'm sticking to pretty much.
That's good though.
Yeah.
So this is my rundown. I got all sorts of
You
shit.
got all sorts of stuff.
Paper, man.
Yeah.
I got sorts of right now. I'm ready. I think it helps me like know where I want to go with my segments, so
For sure.
work on this. Plus, it's so like it's second nature after doing it so much.
Oh,
In
yeah.
the morning, guys.
Exactly. You can put a rundown together and you sleep.
And the stories there. The other thing is like it's so like with 2 hours, it's like so much stuff to get to.
Yeah. Fly
And, like I had some segments that would work with calls, but I'm like, I don't know if I can't take calls.
Yeah,
It's
there's
2
no
hours.
not to get all your content off. No.
Which is like at one of the shows coming up, I'm doing like 3.5 hours.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like,
I saw
it's
you.
like before a United game or right after a United game or something like that.
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's the show where I can like let stuff breathe a bit.
Exactly.
Because like I have some segments today I take calls on. Like I would take calls on Juan Soto.
Yeah.
But
There's really no time.
Since I don't have time, I'm
Because honestly, that can take up your whole show.
I'm going to immediately shut it down instead.
Right.
The other thing about because like Soto for Acuna is an interesting discussion on the surface, but then like as soon as you mention like, hey, don't forget Acuna's on like $120 million deal for 8 years.
Yeah.
And
so
Soto's like gonna make $500 million. Like
exactly.
they're no longer comparable. It's
Not
no
at all.
longer comparable. So like I don't like if you're smart with your arguments, there's nowhere to go after that.
No.
There's no more discussion. The
Not at
discussion is Michael Harris and prospects.
There
I
you
would
go.
listen to that.
Yeah.
But you're not going to pay Soto, so it doesn't make a difference.
Exactly. They're not going to give Soto all that money.
I'm going to get to this too on my show if I have time. If Soto's asking $500 million, which will be the minimum.
What's he trying to do after how all those years? Like what kind of years is he asking for?
This was 15-year offer.
Okay.
440. But like, here's my point: if he's asking for $500 million, what the fuck Shohei Ohtani about to ask for? Dude,
That's crazy.
I could argue that
Cause
if Soto makes 35 a year,
Shohei at least he's get
he
40.
should make 50.
Should make 50.
I'm not saying he will, but I can make an argument he's worth 50.
Yeah.
Like,
He hits in
He's
the
among
lineup for
the
you
best
every day, and he's your ace pitcher.
yeah, like you could make an argument he should make 50.
Yeah. Like, that's ridiculous.
$50 million a year.
Can you imagine making $50 million a year? Bro, people could be good on that for life.
I'm not in LA. I'm sure he makes a ton of endorsements too.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that. Right. I didn't even. Yeah, he got that global money.
Should I record this segment? Or would you rather do this segment or the questions? Which one do you rather do? What's in Around the Association?
Not sure Katie's going to be traded along with Kyrie, DeAndre Ayton staying with the Suns, and Danilo Gallinari.
Do you have some of those trade packages? That you know how they'll be like this reporter that the Nets were asking the.
Oh, no.
Oh, you don't have that. That would have been good to react to.
Yeah, it would have. Oh, also got Donovan Mitchell. Right there. You mind handing me that? Right now,
Yes, you heard that correct. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for
What's
a
that?
quick quote.
Yeah, I am.
800-418-3132 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free road
Not laughably
free
bad.
towing, and power rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-418-3132. That's 800-418-3132. What do you have to lose? Call 800-418-3132.
Yeah, it's got to
Again,
be.
800-418-3132.
I'm Matt Spiegel, and I'm the host of the brand new podcast, Beat the Streak Daily. Every weekday this Major League season, I will update the state of Beat the Streak. The rules are simple. Each day, pick one or two players you think will get a hit. If they do, the streak continues. Sounds doable, right? But so far, it's been impossible to win. And with millions of dollars on the line, no one has ever gotten to 56. Subscribe now to Beat the Streak Daily, wherever you get your podcasts, and play Beat the Streak for your chance to win $5.6 million.
Huh? I accidentally, it went off for a minute, so a lot of people left. But we still in here live. Question: would you trade Dansby Swanson? No, I'm not trading Dansby Swanson for Soto. Who our shortstop gonna be?
Long Griffin.
Who?
Long Griffin.
Oh, that's true. He is there. I'd rather have Dansby. Hour 2 of the Hometown Take coming at you right now. We are live in the Kia Studios. Dylan Mathews here with you for one more hour before we hand things off to Abe TL. He's got some good stuff coming up for you as well, so make sure you stay tuned in all night. If you're partying, if you're moving from one party to another, if you're changing locations like Drake and Future said, stay tuned in on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. We'll help you get to your final destination, bring you some entertainment while you wait to continue your turn up on a Saturday night. You can follow me at _Dylan Mathews, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff on social media, and follow the station at 929 The Game. Grillin' Dylan coming up here in about 37 minutes. Make sure you tweet me your questions. Again, it can be about the Braves. Let's talk a little bit about Atlanta United, the Hawks, Falcons, anything you want. Life doesn't matter. Just tweet me. Make sure you put the hashtag GrillinDylan with your question. All right. We will go around the association right now. So, not too much going on in the league. Right now, just a whole bunch of, as my favorite host, John Tucker, would say, rumor and innuendo going on right about now. And it really probably is going to stay slow. I mean, I know the DeAndre Ayton thing just went down. I'm not surprised. Phoenix matched. They weren't going to. I think this was honestly probably Phoenix's plan all along, just to keep it a buck with y'all. They were going to be like, all right, let's see what somebody wants to give you. And more than likely, we're just going to match it. Now, is that a great look? No. Does it make me feel good about, DeAndre Ayton's future with the Suns? But unless he accepts the team that he could possibly be traded to, he ain't going nowhere for at least a year. So he's in Phoenix unless they probably agree on a trade partner. That could happen, but I think he's probably just going to stay in Phoenix. Phoenix kept their roster together. I think they want to make another run. DeAndre Ayton got his money. He should be happy. So I think he stays in Phoenix. I think their plan all along was just to see what somebody was going to offer, see what the money was going to be, and unless it was something super outrageous, which, again, he got the max, so wasn't going to be really ever that bad, they were just going to match. I think that was their plan all along. So DeAndre Ayton, that's a part of our news around the association. He's staying in Phoenix. What in the world is going to happen with Kevin Durant and Kyrie? It almost seemed like a foregone conclusion just a couple of weeks ago that they were gone. Seemed like Kyrie was going to be going to LA. KD was going to be going to Phoenix. Now, I'm not too sure they're going anywhere. I'm not too sure that we aren't seeing the Brooklyn Nets running it back next season. The Nets have not gotten what they thought they would get as far as trade packages go for Kevin Durant. And I don't know who honestly wants Kyrie Irving right now besides the Lakers. And I can tell you this, I'm sure the Brooklyn Nets probably don't want Russell Westbrook in return. So it's just not falling together for KD and Kyrie. And to be honest with you, I think they're going to have to suck it up and just play in Brooklyn or just sit out. But I don't know if they're trying to miss out on that money. So that's going to be very interesting to see if anything develops. I know these superstar trades, and we haven't really seen anything like this in a while. I know it takes time, but just the way it's going. I mean, first of all, there are not a lot of teams out there that could even give the Nets, I should say, what the Nets want for KD. Now, again, the Nets should want a boatload for Kevin Durant. He's Kevin freaking Durant. They should want a boatload back. But you also have to understand, there's not a lot of teams that can give you a boatload or are willing to give you a boatload. Because here's the stopper when it comes to all of it. The Nets want a lot back. But the teams that want to get Kevin Durant, they got to keep somebody there so they can win, because KD alone ain't going to win you anything. So they want to keep some of what they already got. They want to keep the important pieces to what they already got to try and win a championship, because that's the point of trading for Kevin Durant. But, again, on the other side of the token, you're going to have to give up some important pieces to give up Kevin Durant. So where does that meet in the middle? Is there a team that can kind of make that happen? I'm not really sure there is. The Suns could have, but now they can't unless DeAndre Ayton agrees to go to the Nets. So I'm just not sure a KD and Kyrie trade are happening at this point. Also, another possible big trade could be going down. Again, I'm not too sure how this will go down, but apparently now the Utah Jazz are listening to trade offers for Donovan Mitchell. And right now, the front runner seems like the New York Knicks. You guys remember in Infinity War when Thanos was like, all of that for a drop of blood? The Knicks are doing all this to stop Trae Young. Oh, it's laughable. Man, we got Knicks fans in a tizzy, Hawks fans. Y'all realize that? We got them in a tizzy. They gave Jalen Brunson a big old bag for what? They try to get Donovan Mitchell now. We got Knicks fans in a tizzy. They don't know what to do. They don't know who to go after. But, I mean, it'd be interesting. Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks. I heard Nick Cale and Dom Chorosky talking about this a little bit. It'll be solid offensively. Not very solid defensively. It gives the Knicks a number one option. But, again, I'm just still not sold. One, your defense will be pretty holy. Two, what's your depth look like? And I know Thibodeau doesn't play a lot of people anyway, but that team just still has some holes. I mean, it would be a good starting lineup. You talk about Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell. I guess R.J. Barrett would go to the 3 at that point. Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. Good starting lineup. I don't know what your bench is too much looking like, though. So Donovan Mitchell would be interesting to the Knicks. It'll make them better for sure, but not a championship contender. Also, are we sold on the fact that the Utah Jazz want to give up just because they're listening? Again,
200,000 miles with an
My bad, y'all. We ain't have no sound.
You
I ain't
haven't
even
sound
know.
the whole time.
Not the whole time. I don't know when it happened. The live was tweeting. My bad, y'all. We back.
You can talk about. I don't know how much there's to talk about, but Sharif's thumb injury.
Oh,
We don't
yeah,
know anything
true.
about it. We just know it happened.
Right.
Thumb soreness. Whatever it is.
Now, if you need something to talk about this segment, or you can save it for Grilling Dylan,
What?
you got a Grilling Dylan tweet. You can say, somebody said, who's your favorite Hawk outside of Trey?
Okay.
But if you want to talk about, are y'all putting too much pressure on John Collins, that's a really good one.
Yeah, it is a good one.
I pulled up the tweet if you want me to send it to you. I pulled up the comment.
Okay. Cool.
The Mets won the first game, by the way. If you didn't find
They
out.
did? Oh, I didn't even look.
They won 2-1 at Exeter.
Okay.
Cubs chokes, but it's the Cubs.
Dang Cubs.
I'm Matt Smith, and I'm the host of the brand new podcast.
And also, apparently, the Braves' farm system is the worst in baseball. So,
I can see that. They traded everybody away. Well, I said I need to replenish it. They done got rid of all the good dudes. Which, again, not mad at, because, you know, you got to do what you got to do to become a winner. But you got to replenish it now. That's why this draft is important.
who's even our top prospect?
Couldn't tell you.
I don't think it's Grissom.
Yeah, I honestly don't know who it would be.
Could be Schuster. I'll check.
People are keeping their cars longer than ever, which is why CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month
Muller.
protection plan to save.
Oh, Kyle Muller?
He's okay.
Yeah, he's okay. I mean, he's had his shot up here, and he wasn't giving.
We got 2 middle infielders at 3 and 4, though.
Our specialists are standing by for all drivers.
You said what?
We got 2 middle infielders at 3 and 4, so we could trade Andrews technically. For Soto, technically could have.
Yeah, I'm just like, Soto would be cool, but like we don't need him. I would.
He's going to have in LA.
He said what?
He's going to have with the Dodgers.
That would suck. I do not want him to go into the
What team is
Dodgers.
going to trade that much and take on that much salary?
That's
not
true.
the Dodgers or the Yankees.
I was about to say the Yankees.
They got to take on Corbin Steele.
Oh, that's
Corbin, the worst steal in baseball. Probably.
right.
Maybe Hosmer. I'm going to see that.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Hosmer.
This is the Hometown Take. A look at the top local sports stories on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.
The Hometown Take here on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. Dylan Mathews here with you, live in the Kia Studios. You can follow me at _Dylan Mathews on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever your social media platform of choice is. It's at _Dylan Mathews. Follow the station as well at 929 The Game, also on all social media platforms. We're about to go into the state of the Atlanta Hawks. As we move into the state of the Atlanta Hawks, I do want to update you on what the Hawks have been doing in Summer League thus far, because the Hawks do have the Summer League going on right now. And they got off to a slow start, but actually haven't been doing too bad as of late. Of course, I had it pulled up, but now it is gone. Now it escapes me. So we'll talk about that here in just a second. Speaking of Summer League, though, and our rookies, Tyrese Martin did sign his deal with the Atlanta Hawks. It is official, him being an Atlanta Hawk, 2-year deal. Martin signed with the Atlanta Hawks earlier today, I believe. That news was announced. But while we talk about the Atlanta Hawks and what state they're in, where do you guys rank the Atlanta Hawks? That's what I really want to get into the thick of right now. What tier do you put the Atlanta Hawks in? Not even the NBA as a whole, but overall, where do you put the Atlanta Hawks? Because in the East, honestly, they're still a tier 2 team in the East to me. Now, they're close to being tier 1, but to me, they're still tier 2. Tier 1 teams to me in the East right now, Boston Celtics, Philadelphia 76ers, Miami Heat, and there's a team I'm forgetting. I can't believe which team I'm forgetting here, but there's a team. Oh, Brooklyn Nets. And the only reason I'm putting the Brooklyn Nets in there right now is because they still, actually, no, excuse me. I'm not even going to put the Brooklyn Nets in there. The Milwaukee Bucks. Because I don't know what the Nets got going on right now. So the tier 1 teams, Celtics, Miami Heat, Milwaukee Bucks, and then you can debate between the 76ers and the Nets. The Nets will be a tier 1 team if, the whole KD Kyrie situation gets figured out and they end up staying and they end up playing. So there you go. You can go back and forth between the 76ers and the Nets. Hawks are still a tier 2 team to me in the East right now. Getting better, still a tier 2 team. Tier 2, I got the Hawks. Put the Cavs in that discussion. You could put the Toronto Raptors in there and the Chicago Bulls. I think those are your 4 tier 2 teams in the East right now. Hawks, Bulls, Cavs, Raptors. Pacers, getting there. Still got a little work to do, though. They're kind of still doing a rebuilding type thing. Don't know what's going on with Miles Turner, how long he's going to be an Indiana Pacer. So they got some things to figure out before they become a tier 2 team. The Cavs, too, they're up there. They're close. But they're slightly out of the tier 2 teams because we did kick them out of the playoffs last year, out of the play-in tournament. So there you go. How do the Hawks get to a tier 1 team, though? I don't necessarily think it's a move the Hawks make to get to a tier 1 team. I think it's about development at this point. Because, again, the only move that's out there for the Hawks, if there is a move out there, is John Collins. And I don't think the Hawks are moving John Collins, at least not this year. So the only way, to me, you get to a tier 1 team, you got to develop these young guys. DeAndre Hunter has to become that dude this year. He has to become another one of those dudes. Just like for the Braves. Dansby became a dude. Austin Riley became a dude. Obviously, Ronald Acuna Jr., Ozzie Albies. You got to have guys develop and become one of those dudes. DeAndre Hunter has to become one of those dudes. That's how the Hawks get to a tier 1 team. DeAndre Hunter becoming one of the elite 2-way players is how you become a tier 1 team. Onyeka Okongwu developing a jump shot like he said he would come back with when we started to go into the offseason. Him being able to spread the floor, develop his game, add facets to his game. That's how you become a tier 1 team right now if you're the Atlanta Hawks. Getting contributions from Jalen Johnson, Sharif Cooper, AJ Griffin, Tyrese Martin. That's how you become a tier 1 team right now. You got no money to spend. There's no free agents out there to get. Now it's up to the Hawks to develop the talent that they have on the team. And that is the only way right now you become a tier 1 team, in my opinion. Doable. A little bit harder, but doable for the Atlanta Hawks. Also, I want to talk about where do Trey and DeJounte rank as far as backcourts in the East. Really could even do the whole NBA. They're up there. Only backcourts really that are better right now, obviously Steph and Clay. Got to say they're better right now. I guess you can consider, I don't know if you necessarily consider KD and Kyrie a backcourt since KD kind of plays small forward. Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, do you consider them better? Definitely, for me, not. Just because James Harden is a shell of what he was. Don't know if he and Tyrese Maxey are better than Trey and DeJounte. Obviously, you think about duos and backcourts. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they're up there. If we're talking duos, it goes further down the list. But if we're talking backcourts, they're up there. Because if we're getting into strictly duos, or if we're adding it to duos, then you talk about Giannis and Chris Middleton. You talk about James Harden and Joel Embiid. Then that changes the equation. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. Then if we're talking duos, they're a little bit further down the list. But strictly backcourts, though, they're up there. Not too many dynamic backcourts, if you think about it. So, to me, Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, they're a top 5 backcourt in the NBA as a whole. We're talking backcourts now. Shooting guards and point guards. We're talking guards, backcourts. Duos, different story. But backcourt, top 5. Maybe top 3. So, tweet me what you think. Where does Trae Young and DeJounte Murray rank as a backcourt? Where do they rank as a duo? The difference. There's a difference. Also, I got to talk about this because I'm starting to get concerned. What is going on with AJ Griffin? It's like he hasn't played a lick. Our first overall pick, not first overall pick, but you get what I'm saying. Our first round pick hasn't played a lick in Summer League. Don't even know what he really looks like yet. I'm starting to get a little worried. I know it's just foot discomfort. Haven't seen the fact that anything is broken or no ligaments torn, no ligament damage, anything like that. But I'm a little bit concerned he hasn't played at all in Summer League. Now, Sharif Cooper is also dealing with a thumb problem, but he's been playing through it. So, Young Hawks a little bit banged up here. But they've been getting the job done lately, as of late in Summer League play. So, there you go. But that's going to affect the decision-making behind what A.J. Griffin does for the Hawks and if he's going to be on the roster or with the Skyhawks. Because I can tell you this, if he doesn't play at all in the Summer League, which it's looking like he might not, you can kiss it goodbye that he's going to be with the Hawks to start the season. I don't think the Hawks just throw him out there without him playing a lick in the Summer League. I just don't see that happening. So this injury could set him back a little bit as far as him actually contributing to the Atlanta Hawks goes. And with his injury history, that's the real reason you get a little bit concerned, because he's already gone through this. He's had some injury history. He's been through this before. Is his health going to be an issue? Not only, maybe at the beginning of this season, but is it going to be an issue throughout his whole career? And I think that's the underlying thing that makes you most worrisome about AJ Griffin. Again, it's just labeled as foot discomfort. Could be nothing. But him not being able to play at all in the Summer League does worry you a little bit. Foots can be tricky. Ask Zion Williamson. We know. They can be tricky, so we'll see there. Also, 10 minutes away from Grillin' Dylan. Make sure you get your hashtag Grillin' Dylan questions in. You can tweet them at _Dylan Mathews. We'll open the phone lines as well, 404-741-0929. Make sure you get those in as well. 10 minutes away, now 9 minutes away from Grillin' Dylan. But as far as the state of the Hawks, nothing is pretty much going to change now up until the start of the season. The main thing for the Atlanta Hawks this year is how do you get better defensively? DeJounte Murray is going to help. DeAndre Hunter is there. Clint Capella and Onyeka Okongwu, they're going to help you. Maurice Harkless is going to help you. But the improvement defensively has to be there. It's never been an issue offensively. We've always been able to score points. Maybe not in the Miami series, but DeJounte Murray is supposed to help that too. Take the ball out of Trae Young's hands. Another ball handler. Another bucket getter. Another facilitator. Another star. So we'll see. But the main thing, again, for the Atlanta Hawks is to get better defensively. And again, you got to get off to a better start than what you did last year. We can't have the same start now. The effort has to be there. If we're off to a slow start because DeJounte and Trey are learning to play together, that's one thing. But the effort has to be there. We can't be looking like we're just sleepwalking through the first half of the season like we did last year. That can't be the reason. We can't hear Trae Young again talking about how it's hard to get up for these games. You know how important they are now, Trae, because you had to fight all season long because of how lazily you started off last season. Can't happen again. So that's your state of the Hawks. A little worried about A.J. Griffin. Probably going to have to start off in College Park now for a good first part of the season because of the injury. We know Nate McMillan doesn't like to play rookies regardless. And now that he hasn't been able to get any play in Summer League, definitely going to have to start off in College Park. But that's okay because he doesn't have to be a main contributor. We got Trey, we got DeJounte, we got Dre. We're ready to roll. We're ready to get this thing going. All right. We're rolling into the last segment of the Hometown Take. It's time for Grill and Dylan. We will do that when we come back. Before we do that, though, I want to make sure you know to dive into the history and culture of baseball's unofficial rulebook with Unwritten, a new podcast hosted by former players Ron Darling and Jimmy Rollins. Unwritten looks at all the secret and not-so-secret guidelines that big leaguers follow while playing the game. Ron and Jimmy give you the player's perspective on bat flips, beanballs, brawls, and more. This week's episode is about blowouts. Don't run up the score. Don't steal on 3-0. Don't be doing none of that when you know you're about to win the game. That's not cool. Ron and Jimmy talk all about that. So make sure you tune in to Unwritten on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast. Make sure you call me up right now, 404-741-0929. If you got a Grill and Dylan question, again, can be about Hawks, Braves, Atlanta United, Falcons, life. It does not matter. Whatever you want to ask, whatever you want to know about me, we will talk about it all next. Tweet me, call me right now. It's the Hometown Take with Dylan Mathews on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game and the Odyssey app.
All right, you good. Can you do your headphones again last time so they can hear the
So one could say, call me.
One could definitely say that.
Give me a pen.
I'll have to go out there and get you a quiz.
All right, guys. So we're rolling into the last segment. Appreciate you guys for rocking with us. So the last segment is the question segment, Grill and Dylan. So you can either call in to the station or you can tweet your questions, #Grill and Dylan, and they'll be answered in the last segment, which starts at 9:40. But again, appreciate you guys for rocking with us a little behind the scenes. Why are they saying, can y'all hear me? They said no sound, but I don't know how long ago that was.
That was long ago. That's not now.
Okay. So we're going to the last segment, you guys. But again, you can call in or tweet your questions at Grill and Dylan.
Do you want me to text it to you or just tell you right now?
You can just tell me right now.
All right, first one is John in City. Number 2 is Jacob in Covington. Those are Hawks related.
Thank you, my good sir.
So, Dylan. Once you're done with them, if you need one, then do Dion, Twitter, favorite player other than Trey. If nothing else comes after that, then do the one from Twitter, Sweetness the Butter on YouTube.
Should I tweet my question?
Huh?
Should I tweet my question?
If you want, yeah, for sure.
So Sweetness the Butter, why is everybody caught up on, you know the question.
Yeah.
Is it too much pressure on John Collins? Make sure, remember last time you did it so you could hear the question on there when I recorded?
Oh, yeah. I'll just turn my mic on.
Do that again.
So read the question.
Appreciate you, my guy.
For pennies a day.
So yeah, we're rolling to the last segment.
Is this loud enough to where the thing will pick it up?
It should be. However you had it last time. Good job. Good show. Again, don't be too hard on yourself. Ain't nothing to talk about.
With a company like Untitled
The only
is
thing worried
that
what
they
you
can
got.
get me in the middle of the crime.
But
That's
again,
their
when it's
worst
nothing to
fear.
talk about, but you did a good job.
Find out today with your free
Be
title
entertaining,
scan and
which you already
complete
do.
title report. $100 value.
But it ain't nothing to talk about. So.
Just go to HomeTitleLock.com. That's HomeTitleLock.com.
But next week will be much better because again, it'll be so close to training camp. You could do training camp
This is a
storylines.
special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000
Right.
miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all.
Last segment. Nobody said anything. Eric Graham hasn't said anything. Rick, nobody.
That's crazy.
That is now available to
Guess
the
we're watching
public to save
Spectre.
any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost
Is the
nothing
next
for
event
covered
that
auto
like
repairs.
99 is doing
Yes,
training
you heard
camp?
that correctly.
Yeah.
Pay almost nothing for covered auto
I
repairs.
think.
An open
So I saw
call line has
that
been
y'all were at
established
that
for all
Casey
drivers to
Hayward
call
thing.
for a free
Oh
check.
yeah.
I didn't even know about that until I saw on your page.
Oh, yeah.
Now, drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and tow rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-418-3132. That's 800-418-3132. What do you have to lose? Call 800-418-3132. Again, 800-418-3132.
A bad team facing a good team, they're never completely out of it.
Nick Costos, co-host of You Better You Bet, 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern on the
You ready?
BetQL Network.
There's 162 games
Oh,
in the
Lord.
season.
Shout out
The
to
best
Rusty.
teams are going to lose 60 plus times, and the worst teams are going to win 60 plus
Did you
times.
ever?
Each night is its own individual
still
game.
do.
That's what makes betting on
Get
the baseball regular
don't do
season
that
so much
first.
fun.
All the insight you
Get
need to
the,
bet smarter is at BetQL.com. And listen to You Better
Sorry,
You Bet
Rusty.
with Nick Costos and Ken Barkley, streaming weekdays from 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern on Odyssey.
We are about to roll into the last segment, you guys. At 9:40. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us. You a real one, and I like
People are keeping
it.
their cars longer than ever, which is why CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on covered auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can save thousands for covered auto repairs.
You feel like getting me in
Yes,
training
you heard
camp?
that correctly.
Huh?
You feel like getting me in training
thousands
camp?
on future auto
I won't even get to training camp, bro. Can't even get myself to training camp.
Call 800-784.
I think
I wish, though.
One of the first days, like as like a spectator, I'm trying to go to that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You
And then
should
when
go to
you-
one of the-
I was saying, when you go to training camp, make sure you stop by 929. People just introduce yourself, and you know what I'm
Caleb was
saying.
telling me there's a live show going on out there. He
Yeah,
hasn't told me what day is it, like every day or what?
Yeah, they'll be out there every day once it starts. They should. I'm pretty sure that's what they're gonna do.
I started school on the 3rd.
Oh, for real?
And it's got like what, 4 days before that? 29, 30.
Third.
It's the home stretch on the Hometown Take. Dylan Mathews with you live in the Keys Studios on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. Make sure you follow the station at 929 The Game on all social media platforms. Myself at _Dylan Mathews. Time for the favorite, everybody's favorite part of the show, Grilling Dylan. You can ask me anything you want. Ask me any question, sports related, non-sports related. It does not matter. So without further ado, let's get to it. We got some people on the phone lines to start off. You want to call in 447-441-0929. Let's start off with John calling from Union City. What's up, John?
Dylan,
John? Yes, sir. I got you, man. What's up?
now, I got to ask you a question. Why is it that people are saying about the Hawks or about any NBA team that, well, I'll just get to the Hawks, that we throw enough points on offense? There ain't no such number. Okay, what number is it that you are guaranteed that you win, that you score, that you're guaranteed to win? Golden State beat Boston because they couldn't have fries. Boston had the first game, but they could not the same because they had 20 on the court. They could score 20, 25 points. They Boston had. And that's what I'm hoping to either about a Hawks or what, and do. Because you just and try to defense your way into a championship or into a win against the Golden State, you are going to be on the sideline crying.
I kind of see what you're saying, John, and I appreciate the phone call. But on that same token, you got to think, what did the two teams in the NBA Finals have in common? They were the best defensive teams in the league. Golden State and Boston, I believe, they were tied for the best defensive rating, the best defensive team rating in the NBA last year. Defense still wins championships. Y'all don't get it twisted. You got to be able to score too. But defense wins championships.